Hi, welcome back. I'm very excited to be here, and I got a pretty cool topic today. I do apologize in advance that I'm not completely over my cough, super congested, and I might take a quick break once in a while to cough into my elbow. Anyway, today I want to cover something a little more specific and meta to a business, and that's about complexity. More importantly, maybe simplification, like simplifying your offer. And I want to chat about why complex offers fail before they even launch and show you a little bit about, excuse me, tell you a little bit about what I've seen very recently and what that looks like. Unfortunately, I've seen this play out a couple times in the last few weeks, and it's been tough to see. And it's advice that, when you give it, isn't always well received. As gentle as I may want to be about it, uh, it's not really even advice coming from me. It's just me sharing the experience that, from what I've seen and my vantage point from having launched productized service offerings and helped hundreds of businesses over the years, and very recently, about 100 businesses with Squarespace websites. I've seen a lot of offers go to market, a lot of offers, and I've seen what works and what doesn't work. And I've experienced what works and what doesn't work in my business over at resonantpixel.co. Not that this is about that. So I'm going to share my screen here because we have visuals. Talk about an upgrade and legit upgrade. Anyway, excuse me. This is my cool little web page that I made in Squarespace just for this very purpose. And what I want to chat about here is this first topic and the first reason why these things fail. And that's asset explosion. I think every offer multiplies the number of emails, automation, like onboarding sequences, and support emails, support requests, and Q&A sessions every single offer. And that isn't just like one product. That is, if it's fragmented, especially when it's services, like some kind of digital service. Each offer isn't just an idea, it's a multiple of assets. And when you multiply that by the number of offers that you have, they, even if they're just tiers, this is where I knew very recently in a conversation I had that this offer was dead, that I'd really like to help these folks, and this one person in particular as well. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to help them be successful with my piece of the pie, with what my company does to help them get to market and find success. So I think that when I first, and I know firsthand because I failed very recently with an offer that I went to market with a, excuse me, a done with you version of my agency's process. My agency process is called the Credibility Playbook. We've moved dozens of companies through it, and the outcomes have been amazing. Now, my idea was, well, we do Squarespace, which a lot of people consider to be a DIY platform. They run Super Bowl ads. Jeepers. It's like, yes, you can go in there and fire something up, but people get stuck all the time with some template. And as awesome as the templates are, they're not your business. So I thought, well, let me go to market with my process to help people who are DIYers who got stuck. And I gave it a terrible name. I did not do a good enough job of clarifying who it was for. And at the end of the day, got no signups. And I scratched my head a little bit and I thought, oh, I figured out what's going on here. And that was a simple offer. So the second thing that people get stuck on is automation debt. And Complex logic creates fragile systems before any revenue ever exists, before they even run. And think about it this way. They're like branches. Like if you've ever done any brainstorming app, my favorite MindNode, or if you've been in Canva or any kind of whiteboarding app, you know what it looks like to build an org chart or to flow an idea and show that flow of data through, say, a series of databases and communications. And every single thing we do in automation branches out, right? Every single one of those workflows has conditions and exceptions and maintenance in the future tech debt, maintenance that is not just fragile, but say you even want to change some of the wording or positioning of one of your offers. You have to go back through every single one of those customer journeys in order to make those updates every single time. And when it happens at the brand level, it's all your products and all those journeys. It's a lot. It branches like crazy. This is not the outcomes of systems thinking. This is the outcome of being inspired by an idea. The problem is you own it the moment it goes out, right? So the next one is, messaging fragmentation. If it takes a matrix, right, to explain what it is that you are offering, what you do, who it's for, if there are levels of access for different depths of either deliverable or session or anything like that. And I know this sounds kind of abstract. Bear with me a second. The idea is not ready to sell. I really wanted to sugarcoat that one, but I can't. It's people buy simple things. Purchases are emotional decisions. And when you connect the reason why they're searching to solve their emotional or literal challenge, they're looking for a simple solution that is either fast, cheap, good. And anytime you have to explain an offer with some kind of matrix, you haven't really drilled down to the essence of that offer. So you wind up with a landing page that's messy. You wind up with conversations that are awkward or not condensed enough. And it's it's entirely common for founders to over explain because they're unsure of what it is that they're selling, or they're unsure of the value that it provides. So spending more time with constraints on simplifying things and really drilling down to your ideal customer profile will go a long way to knowing why or how something is valuable to them, and you reduce the risk of messaging fragmentation. And like I said about, with automation debt, how any changes at the brand level as they cascade through all these messages inside of those journeys, you know, the same thing goes for this message fragmentation. It's another, you break it, you buy it scenario. This next one, no feedback loop. So when you've optimized something and you're going to market and you're spent a lot of time, whether it's a course or a physical product, getting it all engineered, built out, whichever, and getting it ready for fulfillment. And you've got your journeys for onboarding and customer appreciation and feedback and customer support and service and sales and offers and Black Friday deals and all this stuff. You haven't had anyone sign up to show interest. If they don't buy, you wasted all that time, effort, and money, whatever you wasted. So as someone who thinks in systems and is constantly thinking about how can I optimize and simplify that system, no customers means no objections. It means no data. And it means that assumptions are just stacked on top of assumptions. And I'm not saying that you have to have a bunch of expensive consumer testing and data and go through focus groups or anything like that. All I'm saying is if you set up a simple landing page and you tell people what it is, what it's for, and what it solves, and the benefit of it, you won't get any signups like me if it's not right. Or once you get it right, like I recently did with a new client, and they have a product they want to create. And we put up a simple landing page and said, this is it. And just give us your name and email address. We'll let you know when it becomes available. No price, no features and benefits, nothing. And instantly, the very first day after sharing it on social, half a dozen signups. They're already past a dozen signups. Those people, some of them, will buy it almost regardless of price because they wanted it already and they showed that interest. And it's proof. Now, dozen people may not be a lot of proof, but it is proof that someone is willing to buy it. If someone is willing to buy it, there are some ones out there that will be willing to do so as well. That is market proof. You've hit on the value proposition. You've hit on the target and your ideal customer profile. So go. Now you can go and make the thing and know that you didn't waste your time. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, this cold is killing me. All right, last but not least, fear disguised as strategy. Look, I've done this I consider myself to be a procrastinator, even though people accuse me of being organized. Look, complexity does protect an idea, not just from being tested, but from being executed, period, for fear of failure. It is natural for humans to want to make something that matches their ideal deliverable in their head and overlook that this is actually a psychological turn. It's a buffer. It's protection, right? Because simplicity requires clarity and bravado and whatever you want to call it in order to go to market. You have to be willing to say no. Otherwise, all you're going to say is yes, and all those yeses are going to get you in trouble. So if something never launches, never really goes to market, then the idea doesn't have an opportunity to fail. And I think when we protect ourselves this way, we're not, I wouldn't say procrastinating, we're just setting ourselves up to not have to face that failure. And failure is another word for experience. So if we don't go to market with things and give them an opportunity to fail, then that complexity is often the thing that has gotten in the way. Be prepared to tell someone, this isn't for you if you're not A, B, or C. And that's okay. Go find A, B, and C and, communicate to them. So I'm going to stop sharing. This took way longer than I expected to, 14 minutes. But look, I think that all 5 of these common mistakes exist in every single one of us. And when you make one promise on one page with a simple opt-in and you ship, you listen, and you adjust, then you'll find that you're productive, you're getting word of mouth, you're getting market feedback, you're making a better thing. And if making the thing is the idea, then that's a much better way to do it than to create some complex matrix of offers and access levels. I, it it never works because building it is more effort than it's worth when you haven't gotten paid a single thing for it. And believe me when I tell you that getting an email address on your list, not monetary, but it is getting paid in some kind of way. So build it, build it, build it, build it. And you will find that those small implementations that you are able to scale up and grow and sell and communicate and please people with, you know, you can get to the point where your ideal complexity is achievable, even appropriate, if you have enough customers who niche into enough areas and sub aspects of whatever it is that you do. Insert the complexity. If the business can take it, go for it. Launching with it, it's a recipe for disaster.